Hello, hello. Thank you for listening to A Glimpse of the Kingdom. I am David Pendergrass. Can you do me a favor? Can you please, if you like these podcasts at all, please help me share the news? Who can you send this to? Who needs to know that there is a free online resource full of carefully thoughtful responses to various theological, biblical, relational, leadership questions and issues? Who needs to know about it? With whom can you share this? Help me. Help me help you. That's from Tobey Maguire. Jerry Maguire, not Tobey Maguire. He's the actor. Yeah. I don't know if Tobey Maguire ever said it, but Jerry Maguire sure did. Help me help you. Well, send it to people. Hey, there's reason why people fail at goals. When I'm recording this podcast, it's a new year, and there's a lot of reasons why people fail at their goals. I want to reflect very briefly at some of the reasons. There are so many books on this topic, blogs, podcasts, all kinds of things, but I have not done one, and I thought it'd be worthwhile reflecting on just a few things. There are some common problems of why people set goals or think they're setting goals and don't accomplish them. I mean, I've seen all kinds of studies that demonstrate people fail miserably their so-called New Year's resolutions within a few weeks. But not just to mention New Year's resolutions, but my point here is goals in general, of which, of course, those can be a part. One of the chief reasons why people fail at goals, I've noticed, is that they say things like this. And let me just, for example, the most common goal is, say, weight. I want to lose weight. Well, I want to is not a goal. Now, yes, it's good to have a destination. In that sense, it's a goal. I want to get to X. But a real goal is something that you can measure, and you can't measure desires. You can't measure, I want to. So saying, I want to learn to play the guitar, I want to go to Mexico to visit this year, I want to lose weight, is not a goal. And one of the main reasons why people don't ever reach the goals is because you didn't set one in the first place. You didn't make a goal. You didn't set a goal. You just stated a desire. And they are not the same thing. I, right now, am on the keto diet, trying to trim down. I want donuts. Golly, I want donuts. I want deep dish pizza. I want Snickers. Everything in the world apparently has carbohydrates in it. And I can't eat hardly any carbs on the keto diet. I am staring at the desk upon which this microphone sits, and I'm thinking about eating it, but it might have carbs in it. It's crazy. Anyway, that's not a goal. It's not a goal to eat donuts because I said I want donuts. Just saying I want donuts. It's the exact same as saying I want to lose weight. One of the reasons why you go, yeah, it didn't work out is because you didn't set a goal in the first place. All you did was state a desire. So the first healthy tip in reaching your goals is to actually state the goals. Don't say I want to. Say I will lose weight. I will lose weight. Think about that for a second. If I need to go to the grocery store, I don't say I want to go to the grocery store. I say I am going to the grocery store. Now, I can say I want to go to the grocery store, but I mean something more than that. I mean, I am going. I'm going. Why? I'm going to make it happen. That is a goal. I'm going to the grocery store because why? Why I need X, Y, Z. I'm going to get there. Well, my car's broken. Well, I'm going to walk because I'm going to the grocery store. And psychologically, it really helps you to shift from, well, I want to, which is not a goal at all, to actually making the goal. Just actually making the goal. And secondly, the second thing I'd say is, and this is related, when you make the statement, I want to, or you state a desire, you're talking about something you can't control. We can't control desires. We can't control wishes that much. We can't control those they can come and go. And your goal should always focus on what you can control. You can't control the weight. You can't control those grades. I want to increase my grades this year. I want my grades to go up. I want to get that degree. You can't control those things. You can't. Well, David, does that mean it's bad to say I want to lose weight? No, you can state your desires, but that's not a goal. One number is, and my point here is a lot of the reason why people don't meet their goals is because they have not articulated a goal that they can control. What you can control are steps that you think get you there. You can control that. You need to leave the consequences to the process. For example, I will lose weight in 2019. Okay? How do I reach that? How do I reach that goal of losing weight? Well, that's where you're going to do some research, talk to a specialist, read the books, do whatever, start making necessary steps. I can control what goes in my mouth. I can control so forth. I read a study the other day that, this should be pretty commonsensical, but the study, again, demonstrates it, is that when people say, well, I can't lose weight, I've tried everything, that statistically, most people overwhelmingly overestimate how much exercise or how many calories they think they've burned, and they always underestimate how many calories they've actually eaten. That is to say, they don't really make the necessary steps to lose weight. You can control those things. If it went in your mouth, outside of you being tied up and someone shoving food in your mouth, you get to control what you eat. You might, well, I don't want that. That's fine. Just don't. But the point is, then say, I'm not going to meet my goal. I don't have the goal of losing weight. If I deliberately choose to go eat a Big Mac and fries every day, or a dozen donuts, even from Krispy Kreme, yes, that's worth it sometimes. But anyway, the point is, a lot of the reason why, one more time, a lot of the reason why people don't meet their goals is because their goal is based upon something that they cannot control. So my second major healthy tip is make your goal based on something you can control. Another example, I tell my children this. We talk about having good grades, and I always say, I want you to have great grades. That's wonderful. But what I really want is for you to develop good study patterns, healthy study rituals and patterns that it will almost certainly lead to you learning. You cannot control the grades. You cannot control how your memory works to recall that exact information on the test. You can't. You can control whether or not you turn the daggum phone off, or the laptop off, or the video game off. You can turn that off. You can turn on those notes, and you can study as hard as you can. And when they do those things over the long haul, of course, statistically speaking, what happens is the grades do skyrocket. They go up. They don't always. That's fine. But we don't base our love, our acceptance, and our achievement based on the grades. We don't ground them for that. We ground them based on we know if they're being lazy, because they can control study habits. Those are very different things. Same thing with you. Same thing with you. You can control what. So figure out what's the goal you're trying to meet. What steps does it take to get there? And is your goal really, can you control it? Or are you saying something that really is logically, it's outside of your control? If it's outside of your control, you might be heading for heartache. I think it's an old 80s song. I don't know. So the first one is, don't say I want to. That's not a goal. That's a desire. The second thing is, make sure your goals are something you can control within reason. The third thing is, I would say is, most people don't really want a new goal. A lot of reasons why people don't meet the goals is because they really don't want a new goal. That's true. Most people want to feel like they might achieve it. Most people like the feeling, the idea of having a goal, but they don't really want a new goal. Do you really want to change? Or do you like the feeling of wanting to change? Those are very different. A lot of people love the feeling of, 2019, 2020, 2021, I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna lose that weight. And the endorphins flow, adrenaline from the brain. Woo, it feels good to say it. Do you really want that? Is that really a goal? Or does it feel better to say I want it, and that's what you really want, is just to say it and then feel good and then sabotage yourself? I know some very sweet, thoughtful, kind people who do this all the time. It feels so good to say, I'm going to do blank, blank, blank. And if you're from the southern United States, you don't say I will, you say I'm gonna, G-O-N-N-A or G-U-N-N-A, which means I'm going to. But anyway, you say I'm gonna do blank. Well, for a lot of people, they're really not going to. But here's my point. They know they're not going to. They know it's not really a goal. It just feels good to have the goal, to have the desire to have the goal. So my third healthy tip is get real gut level honest with yourself when it comes to your goal. I mean, real gut level honest. And we don't have to think that long typically. If I need some food for my children and I can't grow it in my backyard, I got to go to the grocery store to buy it. And I say, I'm gonna go to the store. I will go there to get it. I know in my gut, I mean those words. I know it. I know it because there's a need and so forth, but I know it. And then when I say other things, maybe I don't mean it so much. And my encouragement is get to the place where you really know you really mean it. And when you really do mean it, then you are much, much more likely to accomplish the goal. And if you don't really mean it, then my response is, why not? And then, of course, if you don't think you're ever going to mean it, then why even say it? Hey, let me take a quick break. Please listen carefully to these quick announcements. I'll be right back.
Do you know of any skeptics in your family, at work, or among your friends? Do you struggle with questions concerning the existence of God or the truth claims of Christianity? Has a skeptic ever challenged you with a difficult question concerning your faith? Then you need to buy Dr. Pendergrass's book, A Skeptic Challenges a Christian, on Amazon.com. You can get it in paperback or on Kindle or in audiobook form to listen to. A Skeptic Challenges a Christian is written unlike any other book. It's not boring and full of technical jargon. It reads like you're sitting down having a conversation. As one reviewer said, as a college student, I absolutely love this book. Dr. Pendergrass knows how to effectively answer a lot of the questions that my friends at school ask about my faith. This book is a great resource for theological debates and for my own personal growth. The arguments are clear and understandable. I would definitely recommend this book to anyone who has questions about Christianity, wants to learn how to defend their faith, or even just wants a good read. Great book. Find out why it has a perfect 5-star rating on Amazon.com. A Skeptic Challenges a Christian. Buy your copies today. Ever wonder what God wants you to do with your money? Should I give it all away or save? What did the early church do with their money? In Dr. Pendergrass's book, Give It Away, Reflections on How Christians Use Money, you'll get 4 short, powerful lessons on what to do with money based on some key texts from the New Testament. This is a wonderful guide for study and reflection. It even comes with reflection questions that are perfect for small group discussions. Give It Away, Reflections on How Christians Use Money. Buy your copies today on Amazon.com. Do you like receiving a glimpse of the kingdom for free? Would you like to support what God is doing through these resources? Then please consider donating to David Pendergrass Ministries, Inc. today at davidpendergrass.com. There, you can also sign up to receive Dr. Pendergrass's free blog on a wide range of theological, biblical, and relationship issues. That's davidpendergrass.com.
Thank you for listening. Let's pick back up where we left off. The fourth thing I'd say is, a lot of goals fail. You don't meet your goals because you don't really know why it is you want to accomplish the goal. This is a common thing people say, but it's really true. You need to know why. Usually to accomplish a new goal. If it's an old goal, something you do all the time, that need is already there. For example, if I want to get food for my children, the need is feed my children. And I will do just about anything to make sure my children are fed. The need is already there. But if it's a new goal, I've got to figure out what it is. We do what we do because it meets a need. Period. 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 People learn to play the guitar, you might say, for no reason. Well, because they have a need for some reason. The need for adrenaline, the need to accomplish challenges, the need to be competitive and to compete with some person, or maybe their past, or maybe a need to gain their parents' affection or someone else's attention, to get praise, the need for, on and on, to need to be in a certain group of people. There is a need you're getting met. Desires, just wishes alone are not it. It's just not. There's a need, some kind of emotional, physiological, psychological need is what drives it. And most people fail to have a real goal because they get established, because we don't really feel like we need it. So, for example, my guitar analogy. I say, well, I'm going to play the guitar in 20 whatever. The answer is, will you really? Yeah, I'm going to. Why? If you go, I don't know, then you're probably not going to meet the goal. That's my point here. That's my fourth point here, is that if you go, I don't know, if you say, well, I don't have a deep need, I'm not lonely, I'm not hungry, I don't need to eat the guitar and so forth, but what is it? What is it really? And it might be, well, this is for you. You make up a need. Make up something you say that doesn't meet a need at all. And maybe it's my need for entertainment. That is a real need. God made us that way. That's okay. I have a need to be entertained. I have a need to help my brain develop because I'm getting older, And studies demonstrate that learning new skills, especially new languages, helps my brain develop. Figuring out something that helps the need. And that's my healthy tip number 4 on this issue. The flip side is it's going to help you a lot accomplish your goal if you know what the need is you're trying to meet. Maybe it's multiple needs, but try to figure it out and stick to it. And also, I'd put that everywhere, of course. I'd put that need everywhere. This is why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it. And then, let me one more example. People know what the need is of most goals that get accomplished when they have to do with life or death. That's an obvious thing, but it's true. It's amazing how many people had this before and after. They were obese or whatever it is. Maybe they weren't obese. Maybe they're just out of shape. They find out they've got breast cancer. They've got to find out the diabetes, whatever. All of a sudden, the doctor says you're not going to last. All of a sudden, they're just Mr. and Mrs. Fitness. Live in the gym. Everything. All of a sudden, there's a great need. That is survival. And of course, then what happens is they form the habit and they start loving it and they get involved and then they love it. My 5th thing I was going to say is a lot of goals don't get met because you don't form the necessary habit to get it done. Goals get met most of the time because you have habits that surround it that make sure it's accomplished. And it's very important to have those things. And habits start in small scales. Everybody knows this, but it's really, really true. When I started going to the gym much more frequently a couple years ago, I knew that I couldn't control muscle gain. I couldn't control weight loss. What I could control is going to the gym and getting educated on what helps accomplish my physical goals, which mostly is stay alive and be healthy, keep my back straight and all that kind of stuff. So what I do? Well, I read some articles. I went to bodybuilding.com, which is full of stuff and it's free. And I thought, I need some habits. Well, I won't want to get up in the morning because it's a new routine. Why am I doing this? My need was to stay as healthy as I could, to live as long as I could, because I feel like it's very selfish when people don't stay in the best shape they can for their own family and for their children, for their grandchildren. And I'll get to that more in a second. But I didn't want to be selfish, and I want to stay healthy as best I can and reduce doctor's visits and all that. So I knew there was a physiological need, and somewhat aesthetic need too. I certainly want my wife to find me physically attractive, and I know those features of myself and perhaps others that she finds physically attractive, and that matters a lot to me. So I got my needs in order, and then I want to change my habits. So to get up in the morning, I knew that I had to go to bed later at night. So I started developing a habit where I'd go to bed early at night. I developed the habit of putting out my exercise clothes at a certain place, a location. I made them easy to get to. Shorts on one side, t-shirts on one side. I filtered out the stuff I didn't want to wear, the stuff I knew I would wear. I put my shoes out and my socks out or whatever to make it real easy and fewer excuses. I bought pre-workout, and I really like having pre-workout because the caffeine really wakes me up. And I remember thinking, if I can just get the pre-workout in my body, and that became endorphins and whatever, and that helped form a habit loop. So when I start waking up to go work out, my brain starts thinking pre-workout, which is good because it's not crack and doesn't damage me. It's kind of like having a few cups of coffee and so forth, but it helps me get going. So there's all kinds of things. I won't tell you and bore you with all my details, but I deliberately tried to form habits around going to the gym. And of course, then going to the gym, I had a plan and so forth. What formed habits where it took away, and this is very, very important, it took away my need to have constant self-control and constant motivation. Now, there are days, few years into this, there are days I don't want to go to the gym. No, and I still have to kind of muster myself. But in general, it is habitual now. It feels very, very weird and icky if I don't go, and that's awesome. So one of the major reasons why your goals don't get met is because you didn't form habits around it to meet the goal. You don't play guitar, you've got to form the habit. You've got to get some kind of guitar you learn, some kind of time you set aside, get the lessons or whatever to where it takes away the willpower. The quicker you get to the habit, the better off you are. Get that habit. Another thing I would encourage you, a lot of people fail in their goals is because they just don't, and you might be this person, you just don't trust yourself. And that's a big deal when you don't learn to trust yourself. You say you're going to do it. You said things in the past you're going to do, but you didn't do it. So when you say it, you're really kind of lying. You're lying to yourself internally or lying to someone else if you're explicating it. So my tip is make it about integrity. Make make your meeting that goal about integrity, which for me is a chief value in my life. It is a governing value in my life. That if I say I'm going to do something outside of being incapacitated, I will do it. Integrity is a very, very, very high value in my understanding of character and to be like Jesus. So, keep your word. Keep your word. So if you say, I will go to the gym, remember your measurable goals that you can control. I will go to the gym. And if I don't, that means I'm lying. So make that now, want it back, maybe back to the needs. Make it, I have to do this because I said I was going to. That might not motivate you much because maybe integrity is not high on your list, but it is on mine. I've got a couple accountability partners, and when I say I'm going to do something, if I say I won't do this or I will do this, it's a big deal to me. The next time they ask me, David, did you do it? I want to have had it done. Or David, did you not do this? I don't want to have done it. Whatever it is, because that's integrity. Well, David, what if I fail? Am I just a legalist? No, of course not. No. There's grace when you fail. All I'm saying is I value integrity so much that it motivates me a lot to get the goal done. Now, David, what if I make the goal to play the guitar and I just, all kinds of things happen? And does that mean I'm a big fat failure, not a Christian? I don't have character. Of course not. I'm trying to give you tips to meet the goal, which is let it be about integrity. So when you're trying to talk yourself out of it because it's a new goal and you don't have a habit and you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to not eat those donuts. Well, wait a second. I said I was not going to eat donuts for 6 months or 2 months or 1 month or 1 day. Make it about integrity and keep your word. If you don't, you'll distrust yourself, like I said, and that's sad and it's detrimental. Most people, if not all of them that I've ever met and counseled who have low self-esteems, at some point in their lives, they distrusted themselves. They got to the place where they just don't trust themselves to be around that substance, that maybe it's a drug, maybe it's food, maybe it's a relationship, and saying they're going to do something doesn't really matter to them. And that's a sad fate when you don't trust your own self. And now these other two kind of go together, but they're similar, but a little different. And that is, I'll wrap up on this. Back to measurable goals and that you can keep in control. Make sure your goals, if I were you, I would keep them fairly small and bite size. And here's the key, that to me they go together. And then celebrate the snot out of it when you get it done. Celebrate it, celebrate it, celebrate it. Now the key is to give yourself a reward only after you've done it. Don't give yourself... Yeah. If you want to have a cheat meal because you've eaten clean for 7 days, don't have a cheat meal on day 1. Wait. But that's doable. Maybe its celebration is I get to watch that movie or that TV show I've been wanting to watch, but I won't watch it until I've been in the gym 4 days this week, 5 days this week, whatever it is your goal is. Because I can, I'm being hypothetical, because I can go to the gym. Well, I didn't have the best workout I wanted, but at least I went to the gym. Now, if I were you, I would not have your celebrations be the thing you're trying to avoid. If you're trying to lose weight, and your goal is to go to the gym, your goal is to eat healthy and clean, don't let the reward be go to Cheesecake Factory and eat 3,000 calories in that one meal. I wouldn't do that because you're going to help sabotage it. But it's not wrong with rewarding yourself with something minor, small, like, I don't know, a muffin, 1 donut, not a dozen donuts or something like that. But the point is you are going to reward yourself, celebrate it. And the key here is you are praising yourself for keeping your word. And most people, in my experience, are horrible at praising themselves for doing when they do the right thing. Remember having integrity, and they say, just whatever. No, slow down and say, man, way to go. Talk to yourself. You're not crazy. You might be, but on this issue, you're not crazy to say, that was great. Good for you. I went to the gym. I do this all the time, just to use the example of gym all the time. There are days you go to the gym and you're just exhausted or you didn't get the workout you wanted and you feel like, eh. And I used to kind of beat myself up a little bit and go, oh, that was worthless. I was so tired. That wasn't even worth going. I don't do that anymore. My first thought, but I might start feeling kind of sad and disappointed. But my immediate thought now is I went, or rather I came to the gym. I'm so glad I went. I got my heart rate up. Maybe I sweat a little bit. I did something, and that is better than nothing. It is better than walking. It's better than lying on the couch. I pushed and pulled pretty heavy weights, and that's good. Or I threw the basketball, whatever it is you do, or I jogged or whatever. So, but you celebrate that. When you celebrate yourself, you're making your goals much more attainable because they're not clouded, surrounded by judgment, shame, disdain for how you didn't do it perfectly or do it right. Nonsense. If that's your problem with internal dialogue, stop it. Knock all that off and praise the things you did, said you had a goal, and you did it. It's day 2 of getting up early. Wonderful. Praise God. Woo! It's day 4 of guitar lessons. All right. Woo! It's 30 seconds later and I didn't eat that donut at work. Woo! Whatever it is, just praise yourself. And then give yourself some kind of reward, a reward that helps you in your goal. If I were you, not a goal that takes you away from your goal. Well, those are quick tips. Well, the conversation isn't finished. You can always reach out to me on social media. Are you on Facebook? I am too. At Glimpse of the Kingdom. Glimpse of the Kingdom on Facebook. Be sure to like it and you can see updates there. Also, if you're on Twitter, check me out at Dr. D. Pendergrass, at Dr. D. Pendergrass, or at Glimpse the King, at Glimpse the King. And I try my best to respond to comments and questions on there as quickly as I can. If you want more, there are many more resources on the podcast and my blog. Go to my website, davidpendergrass.com, and you can see a full list of the podcast, and my blog is available for free. Are you active in a church right now? I'd be happy to come out to your church and do all kinds of classes and workshops there. Check out davidpendergrassconsulting.com, davidpendergrassconsulting.com for more information. And may God in His great grace give you even just a glimpse of His kingdom this week. See you next time.